All right, boys and girls. Last time we had the story of Joseph. Remember, he was sold as a slave, and he was in the Potiphar's house, where he had different problems, and he was thrown into the prison, even though Joseph was innocent and he had not done anything wrong. But in spite of that, the enemy, the Satan, schemed against him and created a problem for him, and now he was thrown in the prison by Potiphar, okay, the officer, the one who bought him as a slave. All right, now he was in the prison, and even in the prison, Joseph decided to trust in God and hope that things will get better for him. And he did not sit and cry. He tried to be cheerful. He tried to be as pleasant as possible. And even in the prison or in the jail, he was helpful. He was kind, and he would go around people and he will try to encourage them. And the people who are in prison are very sad. They miss their family. They must have done something wrong, that's why they are in the prison. But they also miss their family. So Joseph used to go around and help people, encourage people, and help also the jailer who was in charge of the prison. He would even help him. So when jailer noticed that Joseph was such a kind person and he was so helpful, he said that you are going to help me take care of the prison. Even though Joseph was a prisoner, but he gained confidence of the jailer, and jailer asked him to help him around. So one day he sees two men sitting in the prison, being very, very sad. They were very sad, and they were in deep, thoughts. Like they weren't talking to each other, and they were very upset. They looked very sad. So Joseph went and asked them, and he asked, "What's the matter? Why are you so sad?" And then one of the person who was working as a butler in the Pharaoh's palace, Pharaoh, who's the ruler of Egypt, so maybe he did something wrong, and then Pharaoh got upset with him and he put him in the prison. So one day, this butler, the butler is the one, the butlers. What is the job of a butler? Butlers usually they serve drinks and food to the king. So this butler had a dream, and in that dream, he saw something. Okay, I'll share you what he saw. Yeah, let me share you the picture first. All right. So this butler, he dreamt that he saw three bunches of grapes. One, two, three. And these three bunches of grapes, he squeezed them. He squeezed the juice out of those grapes, and he poured in the cup and he gave it to the Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh drank it. And that's what he saw in the dream. And he was wondering, what is the meaning of this dream? What does it mean? And he was confused. He did not understand. In the Bible, the Old Testament especially, when God would show people dreams, even now actually, when God shows dreams or visions to people, he's trying to tell them something. So he's trying to talk. God talks to us through the Bible, but he also talks to people through the dreams, especially when there was no Bible. He always talked to people through the visions and dreams. So this is what he saw. The butler, he saw the three bunches of grapes, and he squeezed the juice out of those grapes. He poured in the cup and he gave it to the king. Okay, so that's what he saw. And then Joseph asked the other man, okay, he was also looking worried and thinking about something. So he asked this other man, he said, "What is your problem? Why are you looking sad?" And this man said, I used to work as a baker in Pharaoh's palace, and I also had a dream. So Baker said that in his dreams he saw, so he said in his dream, he saw that I had three baskets on my head. In the top basket, I was carrying all sorts of breads and rolls for the Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them. So Joseph listened carefully, okay, and he said, and he explained the dream to Baker. So he said sadly to Baker, okay, that your dream means very sad. Okay, the meaning of your dream was very sad. But Joseph promised to explain it to Baker. In 3 days, he said that you will be released from jail and be executed. The meaning of executed means poor chief baker, the baker, he will be dead. Okay, but Joseph assured him, and he said comforting things about death, that he could be ready to meet God. And he assured that it could be even better place for you to be. So that he will not be, worried or wonder what's going to happen to him. This life after death. That's what you studied in the Bible, right? After we die, our spirit never dies, and it goes to God. Okay, we will see God, and we will meet God. All right, so that's what will happen also to Baker. So, so what happened was after this, um, after 3 days, things happened exactly as God had revealed to Joseph. In 3 days, the butler got his old job back, and the baker was carried away to be hanged. Joseph kept wondering and wondering if the butler would say a good word about him to Pharaoh, and he would be set free. Month after month went by, but no word came. The butler came before the king every day, and he had forgotten about Joseph. The butler had probably said thank you to Joseph for telling him the meaning of his dream, but he did not act thankful at all. How often we also act like butlers sometimes, right? We say thank you, but we don't have a heart full of gratitude. And we say I'm sorry, but we go back and do exactly the same thing that we had said sorry for. Okay? Does that happen to you? Yeah, I'm sure it happens to all of us. So you know what? We have to remember that you have to keep your promise as God had asked us. God keeps his promise, okay? When we promise something, we must keep it. We must fulfill it. Okay? Because we are in his image. We are his children. So we have to act like him. You know, Joseph kept waiting and waiting for this butler to bring some help for him. But poor Joseph, he never saw a butler after that. Okay, and but butler was happy back in the Pharaoh's palace, serving the king and doing his job, and did not even once think about Joseph. Let's see what happens to Joseph. Let's see what God holds for him in his life. Okay, what's the future holds for Joseph. All right, it's getting excited. I'm sure you can't wait.